If you've ever said that you barely eat and you still can't lose weight, this episode is for you. Today's episode, we're going to talk about how to actually fix a slowed metabolism. It's going to be a good one, so grab your coffee and let's get into
it. Let's get into it.
I've always thought to myself, oh, what a dream it would be to have a fast metabolism.
Right.
You know,
everybody wants that.
Yeah, and you don't think, and a lot of people use the word, they use it a lot. Oh, she must have a slow metabolism. She must have a fast metabolism. They use it, but they don't really know what it means.
No.
And the cool thing is your metabolism is adaptable. And so there are things you can do, within reason to get a faster metabolism or fix what feels like is a slow metabolism. So we're going to get into all of that. So if you feel like you're someone that barely eats or if you eat one little treat, you gain weight, you're definitely going to get something out of this episode. So make sure you stay tuned. But before we get too far, make sure you follow us on Candidly_with_coffee on Instagram, subscribe to us here on YouTube, comment and interact with us in the comments. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the show.
Let's get into it.
So I had my every 3 year cervical cancer screening the other day. Let me tell you, it's invasive a little bit. You got to scoot your butt all the way to the edge of the table, and they put you in stirrups.
And sounds like fun.
They get this
stirrups.
Mascara. It looks like a mascara wand, and they scrape inside. And as soon as they touch the scraper, your uterus cramps. And you think of the Venus flytrap, the plant.
As soon as you touch it,
you feel it go. You know, it's like, whoa, yuck! I don't like that feeling.
I bet doesn't sound like fun.
I had an interesting appointment. It actually was. It made me feel for a lot of people, a lot of women, because I went in there. I went to my appointment where I'm someone who's very knowledgeable in the space, women's health, HRT, hormones. I'm certified in menopause. And this doctor was kind of rude and irritated that I was on HRT that wasn't through them, and wanted to know why that was. And I always said, well, you guys had your chance because I came 3 years ago and was told I could take birth control. Or she told me to take Estroven, which is an over-the-counter medication from Amazon. Literally wrote it down on a sticky note and sent me on my way. I was my bladder was leaking uncontrollably. I was just miserable. And she goes, oh, well, I would be willing to prescribe it to you, but, we just hope that if you are taking anything that it's through our care so we know what you're on. She was just really rude about it. You could tell she was bothered and rude.
Yeah.
And kind of a little fear-mongering around it. She kind of said some negative things about HRT and some of the risk factors. I'm like, I'm aware of the risk factors, but are you aware of all of the latest?
The plus sides, the benefits?
Yeah. And then I'm thinking to myself, this is why women are scared.
Fear-mongering.
This was a young doctor too. And she was younger, so she was more open to it, but not super open to it and very bothered. But I was just kind of like, listen, I'm not here for that. I'm good.
Yeah.
I have an amazing nurse practitioner and a doctor through Transcend, and I'm good.
Yes.
I'm here, just do what I'm here for. But it made me feel for, now I get it. Totally get why people are scared, because they lean down. They go heavily on the risks to cover their asses, or I don't know what. What did you say? You just told me the reason why people they're not as gung-ho to prescribe HRT in a lot of ways.
Oh, because there's an MD that I follow on YouTube, and she's pro peptides, HRT, TRT. She said a lot of these doctors won't prescribe it because insurance companies won't cover the cost.
And they're cheap too. They're not big money makers.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a business, you guys. Remember this, please.
Going to the doctors is a business.
Hospitals, a huge business. Remember we watched that documentary? It was like a hospital in New York about brain surgeons or whatever. And it was a documentary on like Netflix or something, but it taught you the business side of the hospital. And we also watched a show about it too.
Yeah.
Remember the show we watched?
Yes.
It was a dramatization show. It wasn't real. But it taught you the business side about how many they go in a boardroom just like they do at these big corporations. They want to know how many operations.
Yep.
How many that they want. That's all stats, finances, money.
So here, I'm gonna get a little off topic on this one. Remember my injury to my leg, and took me to the doctors. And they had a follow-up appointment with some doctors.
Yeah.
Some surgeons, and then the surgeon says, "Nope, you're fine. Just go home, heal." He goes, "But the other side of me, if I wanted to tell you to go to surgery, I should be telling you that because we make money when we cut you open."
Yeah.
And that made me think
yeah.
that my light bulb went off in my head when he said that. Like, oh man, did I jump to surgery on the same injury on the other leg too soon?
Yeah.
Or was it correct? Because he's right. Surgeons do not make money unless they cut you open.
Yeah.
So you got to think before you jump.
But then you have to rely on the fact that they have a code of ethics to do no harm.
Yes.
Right? But they're humans. And humans want to make money.
Yes, they do. They want to live
they want to live a lavish lifestyle. That's why all the doctors are jumping into influencing, because influencers make more money than doctors.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? A lot of doctors have started YouTube channels, podcasts, more active on social media, giving their tips and whatever, because you're right. They're figuring out like, man, these people, these social media influencers don't go to as much schooling as we do, but they're making buku much more money than we are. They are mad.
They're mad. Also, just a side note, totally off topic, but it really irritates me that that chiropractors just jump on. They change their Instagram name as Doctor whatever, and they're a freaking chiropractor.
They're a chiropractor,
but nobody ever questions them. They're like,
they don't.
Do understand that not all doctors are medical doctors. MDs, MD, medical doctor, is different than a doctor of chiropractor.
That's true.
A doctor of a doctorate. They got their PhD.
Yeah.
They're a doctor. It's not the same as a medical doctor. Just FYI.
People don't know that though.
Yeah, but it made me sad because I thought, God, I'm in here and I have knowledge, and even I'm like, God, like they're so still anti-HRT. Like I didn't leave scared to take my HRT, but 9 out of 10 women who would have gone in there kind of finally considering it would have walked out without a prescription.
And it's sad because a lot of women need help. And it goes for men too. They won't prescribe testosterone to men for some reason. They'd rather us feel like crap, not have our libido working, and be like, well, you're just fine. Everything else checks out.
Yeah.
And I relayed that to my doctor at the time. I told her, hey, I want my blood work done. Yes, I'm light. Yes, everything's looking good, blood pressure on the scale, but I'm not feeling good internally.
Yeah.
And she kind of was blown off. I had to like pull teeth from her to get a blood work. And my testosterone was low, like I suspected.
You have to be your own advocate, but I do also feel like doctors have a chip on their shoulder when people come in.
Question them.
Because they know that these people have already been looking on ChatGPT and all that, and they're just irritated, right?
Yep.
But listen, I know what you guys are doing too. You're getting your answers on ChatGPT also.
Oh, yeah.
For us.
They've got exposed as well.
Yeah.
They're using it to go to medical school these days, they say.
So
don't be
it's just annoying. But you have to be your own advocate, and you have to kind of have to decide what it is that you want to do based on your research, and then you tell your doctor, listen, this is what I want. Unless you have a really good relationship with your doctor, because
you're just another number to them.
Yeah. It's just,
honestly, I hate to say it. This is not of doctors like you and I were growing up. They give you the lollipop. They know you by first and last name. They know your parents. It's not the same now. It's become a business, a huge business.
Yeah.
Business of making money, and a business of us not being our best selves. It's sad the way it is. And I hate to say it, but doctors have this God complex about them. Like, you don't know it all, man. I get it. You went to school for 10 years. You got your doctorate, whatever, your MD, your license, but you don't know it all. Things are always evolving and changing.
They have to be. The good doctors know that things are always evolving and changing. They don't get us like stuck in their ways. I mean, they're required. They have to do a lot of continuing education to keep their license current. But I still feel like just people are just hard headed and got the blockers on, and they don't want to. They want to do things this way. This is the way they've always done it, and that's that. This particular doctor, she was kind of young, kind of had a little attitude, and she.
You have attitude back with her?
I did.
Good.
I was not in the best mood.
Good.
So I was kind of short. Like, I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you so that just in case you need to know what I'm taking from a doctor's perspective, if you're going to give me any other medication or whatever, so that if there's any, issues or whatever.
Yes.
So that you can mark it in my records, but I didn't come for your opinion on that. I came for my cervical cancer screening.
That's it.
Period. But in my discussions with her, though, there's just so many things I think about women's health that women don't know, especially like our mothers and stuff they don't know. I remember having a conversation with my mom, how she said, it was when she was ill, when we were talking, she goes, yeah, I don't know. Out of nowhere, I started having a period again. I'm like, Mom, a period after 20 years after menopause is not a period.
That's not a period.
But she didn't know that.
Yeah.
And we had them for so many years of our lives, totally normal to bleed. That's what we're used to. So it's not alarming, especially if you're freshly in a menopause, you've been only in menopause for a few years. Blood doesn't alarm you because you've bled for the greater part of your life.
Yes.
And I don't think it's well enough talked about that any form of like bleeding that's irregular should be investigated. That's something I learned in my appointment. Should definitely investigate that. And it was like my mom, like that should have been a straight to the doctor. Okay, 75-year-old woman doesn't have a period.
No, hell no.
I remember I asked my dad about it too. And long story short, we didn't actually find out what that deal was because, I mean, she had so many things going on with her. She passed away shortly after this conversation, but likely she had some sort of a cervical, ovarian, or endometrial cancer, or maybe she had another cancer that had spread. We don't know. So it sucks because I would like to know what her primary cancer was if she had that, so that I can know what I'm more like need to be more mindful of.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, because I've never looked into it because I'm not a woman. Why do women get periods? What's the purpose? What does the body do that?
Oh, it's the lining. It's the lining that protects the fetus, a growing fetus. So it's the lining that houses the egg, that where the fetus will nestle into and grow, that will become a placenta and all of that.
Oh.
So when you don't get
so what's part of why does it have to bleed? Is my question.
It sheds because if an egg doesn't get fertilized, your body doesn't need it. So it sheds it. It's waiting to get an egg, a fertilized baby. That's what it's for, is waiting for a fertilized egg, so it can nestle in there and grow, and it's like the nest.
So basically, that's what you guys were created to do.
Yeah, and so when an egg doesn't fertilize,
okay,
you're like, oh, don't need it.
Release
Shed.
it.
Mm-hmm.
First, see, I'm always learning. That's why I ask questions.
That's why your hormones go up and down. Your progesterone will drop. When your egg doesn't get fertilized, and then you will have a period.
God damn, the human body is crazy. Especially with you guys.
Crazy.
You guys, it's more intricate than ours.
Yeah.
Because you actually house a child inside of you. You create life inside of you.
Yeah, it's crazy, but that's it. And it's one thing I do not miss. I love about menopause is
it's funny. All the women who are in menopause say the same thing.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't have to plan things around it, be on top of it. Anyways, guys, let's get into what is a slowed metabolism. It really is, it's an adaptive response to either undereating on purpose, undereating by accident, stress, or just, chronic dieting. So that's what will slow down your metabolism. It also is, hormones play a factor in there, like your thyroid hormones. People always think like when people talk about hormones, we're talking about the sex hormones, and we're talking also about thyroid hormones, and your thyroid function plays a huge impact in your metabolism and how like good it is. So eating more can actually helps your metabolism, because like we talked about, if you listen to last week's episode, your metabolism will adapt, right? It will, as you eat less, your body goes into like low power mode. So if you never stop eating very little because you're so afraid to gain the weight back, or you're trying desperately to, keep it down, or you overeat on the weekend, but then you like panic that you're going to gain your weight back, so you extremely undereat during the week. If you're undereating 5 out of 7 days, your body is, and you were chronic dieting leading into that, your metabolism was already slow. Your metabolism is going to stay slow. It's in low power mode permanently.
And that's what everybody does a lot of times, is they overeat on the weekends, and then because they feel guilty, they try to quickly shift to like, now I'm going to undereat for the rest of the, and they play this yo-yo and it doesn't seem to work. Never works.
Yeah, and if you undereat for too long, if you're in a calorie deficit for too long, and your body's in that low power mode, what also goes into low power mode, and your body stops generating the thyroid hormones to keep your metabolism nice and healthy. It affects your thyroid function, and you can go into like a subclinical hypothyroidism just from chronic dieting. In fact, fitness competitors, a good coach will have their thyroid function tested after competing to see where it's at. And then they reverse diet like we talked about in last week's episode, and they'll test it again to make sure that the thyroid's back to functioning again. And if you don't do that, if you don't go into that like rehab period, your thyroid function can stay in a low power mode.
That's, I like what you said there, a good coach, because a lot of coaches don't do that. A good coach will rehab you after being on a deficit for so long, because that's what it is. You're rehabilitating your body, your metabolism, you're firing up your systems.
So a sign that you have a slow metabolism and you need to reset is if you're tired all the time, if you're always craving bad food, like if you just have a lot of cravings, but meals itself don't satisfy you. A big indicator of a slow metabolism, believe it or not, is a small appetite.
You're so right.
For food, for a meal.
For a meal.
Don't mistake this for snacking.
No.
I'm talking like a healthy appetite means like you're excited to eat a bowl of chicken and rice. If you're hungry, even a bowl of chicken and rice sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
That's a sign of a good, like your metabolism's firing.
Also, they say, I have to look into it more, but they say, and I agree with them, is one thing I noticed about my metabolism is I'm hungry kind of in the morning. That's a good sign that you should be hungry in the morning. You stop eating, like say I stop eating at 8 at night, whatever, 7. Don't eat again till like 8 or 9 the next day. That's a lot of hours I've been eating. So should be hungry.
But here's the thing, if your metabolism is slow, you're going to not feel hungry in the morning.
Yes. We know
you're actually not.
We just seen that, so we know for sure.
Yeah, you're not going to feel hungry. You're going to have poor sleep. You're going to be tired, brain fog, and you're not going to be eating that much. But yet you gain weight very easily, or you can't lose weight. That's a slow metabolism. You're stalled out. You don't have enough energy on board for your body to do anything to help you do those things, to help your thyroid function, to help you sleep, to build muscle. It's just everything is stuck in that low power mode.
Yeah, you got to remember, you guys, think of your body like it has a code, has an algorithm. You got to teach that algorithm how to utilize those calories. And a lot of people, when they have also, like you said, a low metabolism or slow metabolism, they tell me I'm not hungry till like lunchtime. But what do? They overeat at lunchtime. They go crazy. Or they're snacking a lot before lunch even comes around. They're constantly snacking, picking snacking instead of eating a whole meal.
Right. And so it's very common. I'll tell you what, a lot of like coaches, they may not believe their client when the client says, I don't even really eat that much. Now, listen, there's outliers. Okay. There's people that think they're not eating that much, but they really are. But there are people that truly do not eat very much. They were a chronic dieter, have dieted for years. They've done everything. Weight Watchers, the cayenne pepper diet, the lemon juice diet, all these diets. They've lost 10 pounds and gained 10 pounds over and over again for like the last 10 years.
Yeah, same 10 pounds.
They've just been trying to eat very low calories for too long. Your body doesn't even know what to do with higher calories. Your body is in permanent low power mode. And the longer that you've been at those low calories and just hardly eaten, I'm just not a big eater. Well, train yourself. To be a big eater. What do? You're not going to be hungry at first.
No.
Have the breakfast. Start training your body to get some food on board. Smaller meals is okay to kind of get things going. Smaller meals,
That's
small
a good
balanced
tip.
meals will help you kind of, and then what you'll start to notice is you will start to get hungry.
Yep.
If you get up and like have a breakfast within a couple of hours of waking up and you're not used to doing that, at first it's going to be difficult. You don't want to do it, but do it anyway. Something small and balanced.
Yeah, like what I do every morning. I don't have a big breakfast every morning. What do you see me do every morning? Protein coffee and a Bear Bells or Legendary. And I'm good for a few hours till about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then I start having my bigger meal.
Yeah, but what I noticed is I started having like an actual meal in the morning, and now I look forward to it. Like I want it. But the first couple times I was like, oh, I do not want to eat right now.
Because you always say, what do you always say? Breakfast is not my favorite.
Yeah.
You always had it in your head, breakfast is not my favorite.
Well, it's not, because the breakfast foods aren't necessarily my favorite, but I've been eating eggs and oatmeal, and now I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Like I am hungry for it. And at first I'm not. So it's like it's like training your metabolism to letting it know like, hey, I'm now going to start giving you more calories. And then it'll start, ooh, what can I do with this? It's kind of like, think about it like this.
Yes.
Like you get a bonus from your job.
Yep.
And all your bills are paid because it's extra money. Like, ooh, I can go get my hair done.
Yes.
Think about when you start to give your body a little bit more calories every day. Your body's like, ooh, I can build some muscle.
Yep.
And she's been working out. Ooh, and it's protein. Ooh, I'm gonna build, I'm gonna build some muscle today. I'm gonna make her hair shiny.
Yes.
All the things that it was not doing because you didn't have enough calories on board. And guess what? When your body starts doing those things, that is the equivalent to a faster metabolism. It's like the little workers that were laid off in your body. They're laid off. They had nothing to do.
No, just moping around.
You're going to slowly start giving them jobs, and now they have something to do again. Those little workers, the more little workers you have doing things in your body, is a faster metabolism.
That's a good way of putting it.
That's what it is. So it's like you're giving your body. But now, think about it this. You can't just suddenly have you'll only have 4 workers waiting for work, and then you can't give them 100 workers workload. You got to give them a workload for 4 workers. Oh, we have 4 workers now. She's giving us a workload. Cool. We're going to hire someone else because she's starting to give us more. And then we give them a little more. Now the 5th worker has something to do. But if you bombard your body with the workload of 100 people and you had 4 people that were laid off, guess what? They're going to be like, this is too much. We're not doing nothing. Then you're going to gain weight.
Store it.
Okay.
Pack it right on.
So you have to do it slowly.
You got to train yourself like this. This is life. And this is what I notice. I pay attention. I look outside within all this, and it's like you've trained your body with all these bad habits. All these years, you got this autopilot of just eating bad, snacking, eating hardly anything, small meals. You might not even have that much at lunch. Then you go crazy because by the time you get home, you eat a huge dinner. You've been doing this for years. And you got to a place where you look at yourself, you're unhappy. Well, guess what? You can untrain yourself from those bad habits, and start bringing in new good habits. It takes time. You're just retraining your brain.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. Think about it. Your brain is your computer to this system.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is training. You're teaching it. Anybody can do it. But you got to put the work in.
You got to know what you're doing, or you'll spin your wheels.
That's true too. You got to know what you're doing.
You have
and
to
that's
know.
why coach and mentors are very important, because a lot of times you try to do it on your own, and you've tried for many years without success.
Yeah. I mean, it's true, because you think you know what to do. It's kind of like, have you ever listened to a class or something, and during the class, you're like, oh, this makes so much sense. I get it, da-da-da. But when the lights close and the class is empty and the teacher leaves, and you go and try to implement something, it's like all the information just falls right out of your brain.
Yep.
During the class, you're like, I got this. And then you're like, oh, shoot. Something doesn't exactly match up with what you learned, so you don't know what to do. Honestly, that's where it does.
And think about this. And for a long time as a kid, and you probably were the same way, and I think all kids still the same way, is we all hate homework. I don't think too many kids love homework. But now looking back at it is, no, they got it right, because you're not going to remember everything they taught you in that class. So guess what? They're just reiterating everything you've learned, but to do it all over again, to keep training the brain.
Down. Yeah.
To keep training your brain, and eventually, boom, you got it. I got this. On to the next grade. All right, I don't know this. We got to give you homework, and then you get better and better and better. And you get better over time with everything you do.
Right.
You get better with time. But you got to do that. You got to implement that.
Yeah.
And I never looked at it like that. Like, it is important that kids get homework.
I think the most important thing too when it comes to metabolism is think about figuring out, is your metabolism really slow?
Number one.
Is it really slow?
Yeah.
Or is it that you eat like an asshole on the weekends and your average calorie expenditure is much higher than you realize? I think that that's important to figure out is truly like how slow is your metabolism? You have to figure where you have to know how many calories your body currently maintains at. You have to figure that out. In order to do that, it takes some time. It takes some tracking and some really documenting for a few weeks
You need data
to really land on where that number is. But the cool thing is, just remember that the metabolism is something that can shift down and up. I think people only think that they can get a slow metabolism, but you can just as easily get a faster metabolism if you implement the right strategy. And it takes patience and it takes data and it takes some time.
It does. It takes time.
On the next episode, we are going to talk about why building muscle in midlife changes everything. And I mean everything. So you don't want to miss it.
Everything.